Equipment is an important part of your operation, second only to land as an asset class, and you want to make the most of every piece of iron you're using. Welcome to Maximizing Performance. I'm Willie Vogt with Farm Progress, and in this edition we're looking at iron, equipment in your operation, and how best to make the use of that asset class. We caught up with Joe Delheimer, Ag Finance Specialist at Water Street Solutions, and discussed how they look at equipment in an operation.
Step we do with our growers is we'll look at their entire machinery lineup, and that machinery lineup is going to include all their tillage equipment, their harvesting equipment, their grain hauling equipment, and it's also going to include those utility vehicles that a lot of times we may forget about. Not to mention we need to incorporate any leased pieces of machinery that we may have, because there is a value there that we need to incorporate when we look at the overall cost and the value of that machinery on a per acre basis. And we'll recommend to farmers that they want to be approximately $250 to maybe $260 invested per acre. We find many times that farmers are well above that, simply because they're typically in a growth mode and they want to make sure that they've got a proper machinery lineup for those next group of acres that they're able to pick up.
Mentioned, they look at the way you invest in equipment and how much investment you have tied up in your operation. The $260 per acre benchmark is an interesting tool. Benchmarking is also an interesting tool for maximizing performance on your farm. One important place you could turn for benchmarking information is the internet, where the University of Minnesota's FinBin website, based on FinPack software, collects the data on farms in 7 states, where you can find farms of your size and management style and compare their costs to your own. By managing that, you can decide whether or not you're spending too much or too little on equipment for your business. Joe also talked about how long-term strategies with equipment can impact your farm's equity.
We need to really educate the grower on the cost of that additional machinery. What's it doing to their overall net worth of their operation? Because there are some opportunity costs along with the interest and the repairs and the fuel that goes into operating that machinery if we are indeed have too much machinery for the number of acres that we're covering. If we take an analysis and look at a grower that might roll a piece of machinery, say for instance a combine, every 5 years, if we're able to use that piece of machinery for an additional 2 years each time that we are going to roll it, so we'll roll it every 7 years instead of 5 years, we could potentially have an increase in net worth over approximately a 25-year life there of about $500,000 that we could increase our net worth by rolling the combine every 7 years instead of every 5 years.
How you manage equipment over the long haul does make a difference, and you want to make sure you're maximizing performance on the iron in your operation. Look at the investment cost and the operating cost to make the most of your dollar. For Maximizing Performance, I'm Willie Vogt with Farm Progress.